2024. The Tony Elumelu Foundation, the leading philanthropy empowering African entrepreneurs, is set to announce 1,200 African entrepreneurs across 54 African countries as beneficiaries of its flagship entrepreneurship program. Now, the announcement, which is slated for March 22nd, well, that's tomorrow, will unveil new beneficiaries as the 10th cohort of the 10-year-long entrepreneurship program. This initiative, founded by the renowned entrepreneur and philanthropist, Mr. Tony Elumelu, has become a beacon of hope, an opportunity for aspiring business owners seeking to transform their innovative ideas into successful ventures. Now, what more do we need to know about this? I'm being joined by no other person than the CEO of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Ms. Somachi Chris-Asoluka. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah, I like to start this way. Looking at the social and economic landscape, why do you think Tony Elumelu Foundation firmly believes that entrepreneurship holds the key to unlocking the country's or the continent's potential and driving sustainable development?
Thank you so much. It's so lovely to be here at TVC.
Great.
At the Tony Elumelu Foundation, we deeply believe that the continent can only be transformed when we prioritize and center our young entrepreneurs. And this is also evident in Mr. Elumelu's own life. So we know him as the entrepreneur he is today. But before now, when he was a young man, a young entrepreneur, he was able to access opportunities and, start a business, several businesses, and launched what we know today as United Bank for Africa, amongst other businesses he's launched. So he wants to democratize this opportunity and this luck that he's benefited from, not just to young people in Nigeria, but across the entire continent. And so we believe that when we center young people, when we give them the funding, the mentorship, the training, the coaching, to start small businesses and to scale those businesses, that will truly transform the continent and unlock the prosperity, as you've aptly called it, that we need to see in our lifetime.
I'm looking at the kind of collaboration, partnership this foundation has been having, to catalyze meaningful alliances across the continent. Really, how has that been able to help you impact? It's 54 countries across Africa. Yeah. How have you been able to make this happen?
I think that the world is looking to Africa for that next era of growth. And I think that the world also understands that Africa cannot move to that new era without centering our young people. So our global partners are looking for an organization with a track record, with the expertise, with the know-how, with the reach to, help them achieve some of their own developmental aspirations for Africa. So our partners, including institutions like the European Union, the United Nations Development Bank, the African Development Bank, the United Nations, Google, German Development Agency, so many global organizations, they're looking to the Tony Elumelu Foundation. You know how to do it best in Africa. You have the expertise, you have the network, you know these entrepreneurs. Can we work with you to scale the work that you're doing? On your own, you funded thousands of entrepreneurs, but can we partner with you to scale and reach additional entrepreneurs? Because you've been doing this since 2010, you have the understanding and you have the foot on ground. So we're happy to partner with global organizations who want to scale the work that we're doing so we're able to reach and positively benefit thousands more entrepreneurs across Africa.
That's really brilliant. But in light of Women International Month, of course, it's been Women's Day and all of that, and the celebration has been on and on. How does your foundation, that's Tony Elumelu Foundation program, intend to prioritize and support women entrepreneurs, of course, maybe in the next phase?
No, since we launched our flagship entrepreneurship program, what we call the TEF entrepreneurship program in 2015, we've been empowering both women and men entrepreneurs across the continent. So we funded roughly 20,000 now, and nearly half of those are women. So already we're funding and supporting women entrepreneurs, not just in Nigeria, but all 54 African countries. Our co-founder, Dr. Elumelu, would often say, when you empower a woman, you empower entire communities. You lift these communities out of poverty. And so to us, we're empowering men, but even women entrepreneurs who are creating jobs, alleviating poverty, and ensuring inclusive economic empowerment. But to your question around Women's International Month, for us at the foundation, every day is Women's Day for us. For us at the Heirs Holdings Group, every day is Women's Day. Over 40% of our CEOs at HH are women. On the United Bank for Africa board, 50% of the board members are women. So you see, we don't just celebrate women in March, we celebrate women every day.
Interesting stuff. Well, I saw some pictures and all of that during the celebration. Exactly. Well, reflecting on the past decade of Tony Elumelu Foundation, what key insights would you tell us or learnings have you gained from the impact of African entrepreneurship and, of course, economic development?
I think that what we've learned and what we've seen is that young people in Africa are hardworking, they're energetic, they're creative. They just need a little support to start their businesses and scale these businesses. They're not looking for handouts. They don't want to migrate. They don't want to leave the continent. They want to stay back and start businesses that can unlock prosperity in Africa. So what we've seen and what we've gleaned is that as much support as we can convene and gather to support these entrepreneurs, the better off our continent will be. So in this new phase, or as you've called it, next chapter, we're looking to collaborate more with our existing and new partners. So we reach and support and fund thousands and thousands more entrepreneurs across the continent. Now the number is 20,000, but I want to come back to you next year, next 2 years, and tell you that we've funded 100,000 young entrepreneurs, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, because these entrepreneurs are incredibly talented and need all the support that they can get.
Sounds good. How does this learnings inform the program's strategic evolution and, of course, and shape the approach to fostering sustainable entrepreneurship ecosystem?
That's perfect. What we do at the Tony Elumelu Foundation is a combination approach, a combination therapy. We understand and we know entrepreneurs don't just need funding. They don't just need training. They don't just need coaching. They need a combination of all. So entrepreneurs who apply to our program are able to go through our business management training where they understand topics such as starting a business, building a team, understanding their market, putting together the financials, things that are necessary to start a business and scale it successfully. In addition to that, entrepreneurs also are matched with mentors from around the world. Entrepreneurship can be a lonely journey. You need someone to hold your hands. You need someone to counsel and to coach you. So all of our entrepreneurs go through the training with a dedicated mentor. Finally, they receive funding from the foundation, a $5,000 seed capital grant. It's not a loan, it's not equity. Entrepreneurs take this $5,000 and start their businesses because we believe that's enough to prove your concept in Africa. So with a combination of all these, we see entrepreneurs performing better than other entrepreneurs in their different demographics. So for instance, whereas if you start a business in Africa in general, 8 businesses out of 10 will fail in a year. On our program, we see that we have 80% success rates. So we're reversing that narrative because we're supporting these entrepreneurs through the entire value chain and not just focusing on one area.
With what you've seen, how would you judge youths across the continent now with the kind of applications you see? How bankable are some of these projects and initiatives you see?
African entrepreneurs are entirely bankable.
Wow.
I'll give you an instance. So our partnership with the European Union is two-pronged. So the first prong was to identify 2,500 young women on the continent and then give them grants of $5,000 through the TEF Entrepreneurship Programme. The second prong was then to say, all the entrepreneurs you funded since 2015, let's select 100 of them that are highly capable, highly successful, and we'll give them larger financing of up to 50,000 euros. Very easily in a few days, we had several hundreds of such women who've gone through our program who were eligible for that financing. So you see, African entrepreneurs need people who understand them, people who are in it to support them truly, and give them the training and the opportunities that they'll certainly leverage. So with our work with the EU, amongst our other partners, we're finding that African entrepreneurs are really the future. In fact, it's a decade of the African entrepreneur.
Indeed. I think I support that. But could you expand on the strategic roadmap and key milestones envisioned for the next stage of the program's trajectory?
We will continue to support African entrepreneurs. We'll continue to identify, train, coach, mentor, and fund entrepreneurs. We've done 20,000 in the last year. In the last 10 years, we want to be able to do hundreds of additional thousands of entrepreneurs across the continent. So our next stage is really doing more of what we're already doing and ensuring that we also have more global partners so we continue to scale the incredible work of the Tony Elumelu Foundation.
So what would be your message to entrepreneurs across the continent at this time?
My message is keep your head up, keep doing what you're doing, keep getting the training that you need, keep applying to programs like the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Programme, and it's the decade of the African entrepreneur. The world is looking to you to unlock prosperity in Africa.
So you're not one of those that take the challenges. You believe you can surmount the challenges, because some youth will tell you this is a challenging environment. How can I make it here in my business? I can't. What do you think of that?
Mr. Elumelu always says this, and I love it so much. He says entrepreneurship is not a linear journey. There are ups and there are ups and there are downs. There's good and there's bad. But remain focused, remain long term. Don't be dissuaded by short-term challenges. Keep your eye on the long run and keep the course. Continue accessing the opportunities you have. Invest in yourself. Get the training. Get the exposure. Get the opportunities. Think long-term, and I'm sure you surmount the challenges. To all African entrepreneurs, that's the message I'll certainly share with you.
All right, now we hope to have you again, soon to look at all of this, follow up on all of this happenings with TEF.
No, thank you. It's been such a lovely time with you.
Thank you so much. I've been speaking to Ms. Somachi Chris-Asoluka. She's the Chief Executive Officer at the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Thank you so much. I do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
All right, then.